A 13-year-old autistic student at Melcher Dallas High School in Iowa has been severely bullied. He's been punched, teased, and his condition has been mocked on online videos by his students. His name is Levi Null, and local news actually spoke to him and his mother about it, and they showed a few examples of him getting bullied. Well, it turns out that the parents of the alleged bulliers, or bullies I should say, are totally making excuses for their children, saying that this autistic boy totally deserved it. Let me give you a few examples. One parent says, I would say 3/4 of this stuff he brings on himself, and probably 1/4 of it is bullying that shouldn't be going on. Okay, well, he did an assessment there. He did the math. 3/4 is okay. 1/4 not so okay.
So look, if you're a parent and you don't know that the other kid is autistic, and you hear stories about how that kid reacted in some way, you might get upset, right? And you might say, hey, you know what? You fought back. I get it, right? To your kid. But if you know the kid's autistic, you got to be better than that, man. You can't say, hey, the autistic kid had it coming. You got to pull your kid aside and say, hey, listen, he's got this issue, and you know, you can't be reacting the way that you are because he's not making you know, a conscious decision to do the things that he's doing. You know, just please, some decency, common sense, etc. You can't do this, but that's the problem, and that's why you have some of the bullies that you have, because you have some of the parents that you have.
Exactly. The principal seems to be making excuses for the bullying as well. In fact, Josh Elm says, you know, it's really up to the students to check themselves when it comes to this issue. We try our best to educate our staff, to educate our students to react to the cases, to investigate the cases we have, but ultimately it's got to come down to the kids to take ownership for this and to stand up for the kids who can't stand up for themselves. How about the administrators do their job, and if they see some real bullying going on to the point where they're mocking this kid's condition online, you regulate. You go in there and say, no, this type of activity or this type of behavior is not allowed to happen. You're going to be suspended or expelled or whatever it is. Part of the problem with bullying is a lot of times the administrators don't do anything. They don't want to get in trouble. That's what it's really about.
And look, oftentimes I have some sympathy because I think, well, you know, it's tough to see it on the spot every time and regulate and get into the middle of a fight between kids and yada yada, right? On the other hand, if you're an administrator at a school, that's kind of your job, right? But in this case, it's not that hard because it's online. There's video. You already know it. So you could pull the people who did it off the video, pull them in, and have some repercussions for that. And especially as a principal, your job is not to protect the strongest people in your school. It's to protect those who need the protection the most, right? And to say, hey, they're kind of on their own, that's a huge abdication of responsibility in your core duty.
One more statement from a parent. He called my nephew a nasty name, and my nephew, Cole, Jamie meant to say choked, choked him.
No, cocked him. So sometimes they say cold cocked when they are talking about punching.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But it says the sick thing. So it's choked.
Well,
oh, maybe they made a mistake.
Cold
okay.
cocked, but they left out cold. Or that's not the way it's spelled. I don't know.
Yeah, okay. In the mouth. I'm proud of my nephew for doing that. I don't think she meant to say cocked him in the mouth. I don't know. I couldn't be wrong.
No, I hear you. I hear you. That does sound a little strange. And I hope that's not what actually happened. And yeah. And look, again, if you don't know the kid's autistic and you're proud that your kid fought back and cocked someone in the mouth, okay. Right? But if you know the kid's autistic, that's not something to be proud of that your kid hit him. It's just, please, for Christ's sake, man, every day we ask people on this show to show some common sense and decency. And every day we come back with a different story where they have refused to do so. Mm-hmm.